Hello guys, so this time I will gonna teach you about the operators in C, and there are many operators in C programming language, and one of this is the arithmetic operators, and on this tutorial we're gonna focus only on these operators. These arithmetic operators are composed of mathematical operators that are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And there is also an additional operator in C programming language or in any programming languages, which is called the modulo. And this modulo, it gives a result of the remainder from the division operator. So it is the remainder. If we will say modulo, it's the remainder of the division operator. Okay, so let's create examples for these operators using a Visual Studio Code. So we'll close this one, and then I'm gonna create a file, and then okay, so we're gonna save this one as operators. Okay, so since we have created a file already, so we can now start creating an examples for this. So we will gonna include the library studio.io.h. So we're gonna put here include, then the library, which is the studio. Then create a main function, and in here, inside this body, we're gonna create an integer named a zig, and then name here is b, and then we will gonna apply the input function in our code this time. So we will let the user or the controller, or the person who is creating this one, which is for me itself, I will gonna input my my values in this following integers using the scanf, and we'll let input the values inside of this while the program is running. So I have not put some values inside of that integer, so that we could be able to input it later. So here we're gonna put an output first, and it says please input the first integer, then \n, then the declaration, and then we'll put the scanf here, and we're gonna put the percent %d, which is the format specifier, and after this we'll put the address. We'll let the scanf find this address, which is the integer a, and then put it in that variable, which is an integer data type. And then the another one, we'll just copy these two rows in here, and then paste it here, and then replace the variable, and then this string here, which is, it could be a second integer already. So after that, we will gonna create also a new variable, which is the result. This variable would be the result of the operations that we are creating. And now we are creating a declaration by creating the binary operation that gives out the result of our operation, which is can be stored in the variable return. And then after that, we're gonna print the result of that, which is the result of this operation is equal to and then we're gonna put a percent d in here, which is an integer. That means it's an integer value, and then do the calling out of that variable, which is the result. And then after that, we're gonna put a return value for this, because we have put an int value here. Put an int, so we have to return an integer value, so that it's a practice, a good practice, that you have to put a return value in here, because you have put an integer value for this function. So you have to end it with a 0, so that it will be executed as done. So this return value here means to say that you have done coding your program. So that's a good practice if you will put it. We can be able to run this one, but it's not a good practice in coding. If you're a good coder, you have to put it there. Okay. So that's it, and then let's try to run this one and then check if it's working. So let's see. So as you can see in here, it says please input the first integer. So we can put anything which is an integer, a whole value of a number, and then I type 10, and then I type 43, and then it says the result of this operation says here so it says here the result of this operation is equal to 143. So that's it. That's how the coding with the addition works. So let's try to create a subtraction. So we're just gonna copy this one first, copy that one, and then let's try to make this a comment only, so that it won't run. Sorry, it should not, the result should not be part of it. So that's it, and then just copy paste that one, and then put the minus in here. So let's try to run it again, and then here it asks again for the number. So let's try to do the input, and then he asks for the second integer, which is we're gonna put 1 2 3, and the result is negative 111. So that's how the coding of the subtraction works. It's easy, right, guys? So that's it, and let's try creating another one. Okay, so let's replace it with a multiplication, and then run it again, and then put an integer value. So that's it. So it says here the result of this operation is equal to 2829, which is the product of these two variables that we have formatted or created. So that's it, and then we can be able just to replace this one, select that. So this one is gonna be the division. So that's it. He asked for another value with this, and then like that. So it says here the result of this operation is equal to 5. But what if we have to let the remainder show in this code? So that's the question, right, guys? So we have, sorry guys, it's an alarm or class. And so this one, guys, we're gonna replace it with division, and then after that we're gonna create a variable here, which could be the remainder. Let us call the modulo rather be a remainder variable. So a modulus is like that, b, and then declaration, because you're declaring. So I said, when we say about declaring, you are letting the compiler do some tasks. If it has a task, so you have to put a semicolon in the last part of your code, unless it's not a declaration. Explanatory, so it's different. So you cannot put a semicolon if it's not a declaration or declarative code or syntax. So that's it, and then let's try to and then %d as well, which is the remainder, and then with a remainder of %d, which is the remainder. And this %d here, it is the result, because it's the first one that the format specifier is trying to get right? So that's the first one. The result will be the first one to it is its pair, because it's the first one that appears, and then this %d is equal to this remainder. So that's how the concept works inside of that code. And then let's try to check this program that the result will be a divided by b, and then after that we will find the remainder of a modulo b, which is the remainder of this, because the result of this would just be a whole number. It will not give you a float because you did not ask for it. But if you want to put a remainder value for that, so you have to create another variable for that, and then you have to put a declaration, which is or the operation, which is the a modulo b. So okay, so in this let's try to check this one, at the printf the result of this operation. It says here that it is equal to %d with the remainder of %d, which is this one. %d here is the equivalent to the result with the remainder of the remainder of the result of this one. So that's it, and then let's try to run it now. So it asks for the first integer. Let's try to put 10, and then let's try to create the number 3. So what's the quotient for this? So the quotient for this is it says here that the result of this operation, the result of this operation is equal to 3 with a remainder of 1. So this remainder of 1 here is you will use your calculator to do this. It will have a 3 answer for that, and then it has a remainder of 1, which could be divided to another a decimal point or a float. But this time we just use the modulo symbol, or the modulo operator rather, so that you could be able to see or observe the functionality of this kind of new operator in programming language. So that's how it works. So thank you for watching this tutorial, and I hope you have learned a new topic for the C programming language. And please do not forget to subscribe and click the like button down below, so that we can be able to create another tutorials that could help others, and you as well. For you as well, you will be able to be a good aspirant coder towards others, and also we could be an inspiration to you and to others as well, so they could be able to study programming languages or coding for their future endeavors, to find their passions, or their journey towards their goals in life. If it's their passion, then we can be able to be inspiring to them. So that's all, and thank you for watching these tutorials, and I hope we will see each other again in the next tutorials onwards. So that's all, and goodbye.